So the other thing that I've talked about that the press does, besides just out and out lying, is they take snapshots of a moving train. We're always, situations are always developing, always changing. And what they're always doing is looking for that moment that they can freeze so that they can attack Trump. So when NAFTA was going on, remember, the Canadians were left out and he kept saying, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. And they kept saying, look, he's leaving the Canadians out. It's all bogus. It's all fake. And then the Canadians came to the table. It was a moving negotiation. Well, now we've got this Khashoggi thing. Jamal Khashoggi, the journalist, the Washington Post columnist, who seems to have been murdered in Turkey, in the Saudi consulate. And it's still developing, and the press is using this to hammer Trump. He doesn't care. All he cares about is the money because we have arms deals. This is not true. First of all, the thing is getting more and more complex. As we understand more about who Khashoggi is, it really does seem that he was kind of in with the Saudi royal family. Plus, he was a supporter of the Muslim Brotherhood. And the problem is, in the Middle East, things are complex, that he believed that the Muslim Brotherhood was a force for democracy, which is probably true. It is probably true that the Muslim Brotherhood is a force for democracy. When the force for democracy in your region is the Muslim Brotherhood, you're not ready for democracy. It's simply that true. The Muslim Brotherhood is a radical Islamist, non-secular, theocratic group, terrorist group. And if they're your democracy, that's not what you want. Meanwhile, you've got this guy, MBS, they call him, Mohammed bin Salman, who is now the crown prince of Saudi Arabia, who's clearly kind of a bumbling, he wants to be the glorious kind of reformer, but also the authoritarian. He wants to fix the economy. He's really doing a bad job of it. So now there is a report, at least in the Wall Street Journal, that what they're going to say is that that Khashoggi died during an interrogation. It's like they killed him accidentally while they were trying to kill him. He accidentally died while we were trying to kill him. That's basically what they're going to say, because they're now stuck, right? They need us too. We need them. It's not just the money. I know Trump emphasizes that, but it's not just the money. The Iranians are carving out territory from themselves. The Erdogan in Turkey is also a fan of the Muslim Brotherhood. He's trying to bring back the Ottoman Empire with a distinct Islamist flavor. We need the Saudi Arabians. So what we have to do is we have to play it tough with them, but we don't want to blow up the relationship. That's what it comes down to. We have to be tough with them. We can't allow them to get away with this, but we don't want to blow up the relationship. So Trump is outside talking to the press. He has sent Pompeo over, Secretary of State over, which is the right thing to do. Here he is talking to the press, telling him what he's working on.
I've asked Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to immediately get on a plane, go to Saudi Arabia, go to other places if necessary, which he probably will. But with regard to this, go to Turkey if necessary. The king told me that Turkey and Saudi Arabia are working hand in hand very closely on getting to the bottom of what happened. So we'll see what happens. But Mike Pompeo is leaving literally within an hour or so. He's heading to Saudi Arabia. We are going to leave nothing uncovered. With that being said, the king firmly denied any knowledge of it. He didn't really know. Maybe, I don't want to get into his mind, but it sounded to me like maybe these could have been rogue killers. Who knows? We're going to try getting to the bottom of it very soon, but his was a flat denial.
So obviously, Trump always likes to get along with his people. He always wants to be in these relationships. He talks about his love for Kim Jong-un in North Korea. It seems even our intelligence is sort of saying that they sent people over to kill this guy. It is completely unacceptable. It's completely unacceptable, but it's going to be complex. So Trump is doing the right thing in delaying for now. Lindsey Graham, who has always been a big hawk and always been a supporter of Saudi Arabia because he knows how important they are to us in the region, he's coming down pretty hard. And I think the stuff that he's saying, he's going after the crown prince. He's saying the crown prince, we should focus on getting rid of him, not breaking up our relationship with Saudi Arabia.
Nothing happens in Saudi Arabia without MBS knowing it.
Who's MBS?
He's the 33-year-old crown prince who jumped over other people. He's the son of the existing king, and I think he's on a bad track. I can never do business with Saudi Arabia again until we get this behind us.
Right. And what does that mean?
That means I'm not going back to Saudi Arabia as long as this guy's in charge.
So you're saying the Crown Prince has to leave?
It's up to them, but I'm not going back. I've been their biggest defender on the floor of the United States Senate. This guy is a wrecking ball. He had this guy murdered in a consulate in Turkey, and to expect me to ignore it, I feel used and abused. I was on the floor every time defending Saudi Arabia because there's a good ally. There's a difference between a country and an individual. The MBS figure is, to me, toxic. He can never be a world leader on the world stage.
So this is the way these guys have to talk. The senators have to talk. They have to come down hard on this. This is a real thing. But all I'm saying about this is, now that you know, I mean, I know that people who are listening to this know, but now that you know that basically the mainstream media is simply running a scam. That's all they're doing. They're running a pro-Democrat scam. When you're watching this story develop, and it's a big story, and it's an interesting story, and a lot is riding on it, just remember that things are much more complicated than even Lindsey Graham is saying. I mean, he knows that this is a very delicate, difficult situation. I don't know if they're going to get rid of the Crown Prince. I don't know what they're going to do. We're not going to let them, I don't think we can let them get away with this kind of murder of a guy who had a green card. He was an American resident. He was a resident American journalist. We do not want this happening. But we also have to know this is a complex relationship, a complex area, and we don't want to blow things up. So actually, I think Trump is kind of doing the right thing. He's doing it in his usual blustering way. But I think he will get to the right end once Pompeo finds out what the hell was going on.